Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. I'm your host, Steve. This is the Liberal Letdown. God bless you. God bless America. We're going to get right into it. This is a short topic today. I tried posting a show last night and something, I don't know what happened, but audio didn't carry. So this is a rehash of that. Some of you are asking, why are you posting a show in the middle of the week? Well, I was suspended from work because of political belief. My show, I'm from the Cleveland area. We were watching local Fox News, which is on in the break room all the time. I work with a lot of older guys, so it's on. And of course, one of the hot stories, one of the big topics nowadays, are the anthem protests. I, being somebody who loves this country, loves our police, our military, and respects the flag, disagree with them and don't approve of how they choose to protest. I was expressing that, and I was expressing fact, and I was proposing facts to a person who was actively having this conversation about this specific topic with me. And then our plant manager, who is a good guy, I respect him, I go to him for advice, I hold this man in high regard. He walks in the room. Now, mind you, he's black. My plant manager is a black man. So the person I was having this conversation with apparently felt offended that we were still having a conversation, even though he was actively participating in this conversation with me before my plant manager entered, during the time he spent in the room, and then after he left. Now, this all happened in about a 30-second span with my plant manager being in the room and gone. But the conversation never stopped. Two people were talking about predominantly black males that take a knee during an anthem because they feel that police officers go around shooting black people. That's why they're protesting. And I was clearly stating that that's an absolute lie. That's not true whatsoever. Because statistically, you're not even close to being correct. You are more likely to die by police in this country if you are white, and you're a white male specifically. And, above all that, you are more likely to die by hands or feet before being shot by a police officer. That's just fact. Now, I was unaware that I had offended this person because we continued the conversation. It was ongoing. I find out about an hour later, after he's done talking to management for about an hour, that I had offended him and my plant manager. And I was shocked. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't mean to. I really didn't. I didn't mean to offend anybody. That's not what I'm here to do. I mean, if you don't like my opinions, then that's fine. When I throw facts at you, I don't care. I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, tell me. I will stop. But I'll still laugh. I'll stop. My manager calls me in, talks to me, says that, multiple people were offended. And I said, well, that's, it's got to be my plant manager, because, he's the only person who, I would imagine would be offended. That's my opinion. It couldn't be this guy I was having the conversation with. We were talking actively. So, a week goes by. I try and talk to my plant manager, but we can't find free time to meet and just to talk about it, because I feel bad. I wanted to apologize for upsetting him. Turns out, my manager calls me in the office again and says, hey, I got to put you in corrective action. Mind you, I'm shocked that I'm being put in corrective action for a topic that I was not told was inappropriate because it was on the local news. It wasn't national Fox. It wasn't Hannity. It wasn't Carlson going, well, these guys are stupid. It was local Fox 8 And they were just talking about it. It wasn't they were neither here nor there on the topic. So I'm kind of going off on my manager. And I'm pissed because, people can't have disagreements anymore. If you didn't like the topic, you should have said something. I'm not going to stop talking about a specific topic because either a man of a different ethnicity, whether it be black, Hispanic, Mexican, particularly where I am, or a woman, whether it be she be white, black, Hispanic, Mexican, specifically where I work. I'm not going to stop a conversation when I'm talking about facts, and I'm trying to inform people. And I said that the fact that we can't have a disagreement and that nobody came to me previously about this and that your coaching session wasn't where it just ended is appalling. I said, who decides what is and isn't appropriate? I said, this is absolutely wrong that I'm being in trouble for this. I'm being placed in trouble because a white man said that he was offended because we were talking about black men who take a knee during the national anthem because a black man entered the room. He was offended for somebody who turns out wasn't offended at all. So I get wrote up. I go and I talk to my plant manager. I find him and I say, hey, sir, can we have a discussion? He says, absolutely. So we emailed back and forth for a little bit, and then I went and I talked to him. We set a meeting, and it turns out that my plant manager didn't even hear the comments. He heard the commentary on the TV, he stated, but he didn't hear the discussion whatsoever. He didn't know what was said during the discussion until he was told what was said. He was told what was said. They could have made up anything. The guy I work with, I won't say ratted me out because it's dumb. He faked being upset and hurt because he wanted to look good for my plant manager. And because him and I were going after the same job, which is a promotion, and because he wanted to get a leg up, he got me thrown into corrective action, what took me out of the job pool completely. Not only was I bid on the job, I had an interview scheduled for the very next day, right before my shift starts, and I couldn't even go to the interview. I was told that the committee would be notified. My plant manager said he didn't hear it, said he was told what was said, and said that if what he was told was correct, that he would have agreed with me, not the other person. And it wasn't even that we were disagreeing at all. We were talking about black men specifically, and then that's when my plant manager entered, and then this person apparently became offended. I talked to HR about it, and this is how I know that it was the topic and not the comments. My HR person, she looked at me and she said, we just have to be careful what we discuss at work. And I said, well, wait a minute, hold on. We're all allowed to have disagreements. So just because we work with each other doesn't mean we're going to agree on everything all the time. That's just not how the world works. It's not. I disagree with people I work with every single day. We don't yell and scream at each other or go and tattle on each other like children. We have a discussion, we figure it out, and then we do our jobs. That's how things work. I work in a manufacturing setting. You have to do that. And she looked at me and said that because of the politically charged topics nowadays, we have to be very mindful of what we discuss. And I said, well, wait a minute. What am I allowed to talk about then? I said, nobody told me I wasn't allowed to talk about this. I wasn't taking a stance one way or another. I wasn't saying, go Trump. I wasn't saying, I love Hillary Clinton. I wasn't doing any of that. I was just stating facts. And it didn't matter. And it also didn't matter that my plant manager would have agreed with me. I didn't cuss. I didn't use any obscenities. I didn't say any racial slurs. There was nothing negative about this conversation whatsoever, except that somebody feigned being offended to gain the upper hand in a potential promotion. I got railroaded because this person wanted to eliminate me from a potential promotion. He still has not talked to me. He goes out of his way to avoid me. And truth be told, I'm not ready to talk to him. Because at this rate, my plant manager stated that I don't report to him because I'm one of the lowly floor people. He didn't say lowly, but he said floor people. I said, okay, I understand. And then he pointed out that it was the manager and this person who tattled on me like a child that dealt with writing me up. I was wrote up on hearsay so that somebody could have an upper hand in a potential promotion. He used the politically charged atmosphere as an upper hand. You know what bothers me is I guess this is more of a public service announcement. This is a person who just recently had a child. His child had complications with eating when he was born. And I would contact him and see how he was doing, how his kid's doing, how his wife's doing. And, ask if they needed anything. He was my friend. We were close. We do fantasy football. I mean, it's like all this. So it was very shocking to hear. And nobody's confirmed it was him, but it had to be because he was the only other person in the room that heard anything and that was contributing in the conversation. It was shocking that he was the person that did this, and it set me up to fail. And it don't trust anybody. You got to know your audience. This was a topic him and I had discussed many a time. Him and I were talking about just basic stuff. Nobody was upset. It was just conversation. And he went and tattled to gain the upper hand. You got to know your audience. Don't trust anybody because you never know. You never know. Thank you for listening, everybody. I know it's a short one. It's a little late, but we're going to go ahead and recast this. So God bless you. God bless America. Have a good morning, everybody.